Juyak returned home once again. Fortunately, they had secured the nuclear weapons, but that did not mean they could use them right away. It would take some time before everything was ready for operation. So Juyak sent Cossack off for his LSSR grade breakthrough. They only had to wait about 2 weeks. The remaining physical platinum badges numbered 27. 9 badges were pinned to Cossack's chest. Since 25 were required for a breakthrough, Juyak firmly placed the wheel and the remaining 16 badges needed for a summoned entity's grade breakthrough into Cossack's hands. Come back safe. It's fine even if the breakthrough fails. Yes, #Novalite, sir. Not being able to see a founding merit subject for 2 whole weeks, Juyak hurried forward and hugged him tight. Cossack, fighting. Hook, but please don't do this. My preferences are very firm. Good grief. I like women too, you know. Do you think I enjoy hugging a sweaty man? Heh, a hug between men. Wasn't that just an expression of deep friendship? And then, Cossack, dismiss summon. Spot. Now there were 11 badges left. There would be no more badge ceremonies for a while. Well, I can just collect them little by little. The empty place left by Cossack was filled by the remaining summoned entities. Mad Demon, Meat Shield, Sergeant Veronica Caliber, Bardine, Radix, Bloodwolf, and Geppetto took turns commuting to North Korea, and Diamat, who returned at SR rank, handled the housework. Whenever there was time, Gyandale put Diamat through mental discipline so severe it made a person's ears ring. Meanwhile, what about their shut-in alchemist, Ali Amari? She was in the middle of a conversation with Gyandale, Princess Fairy. So we're going to use a nuke on floor 81. The shockwave from the blast will be no joke, and we'll have to worry about radiation too. I'm worried about you, Summoner. It is fine. We are making preparations on our side as well. The young master's subordinates, who are handling matters of state outside, are helping us. I'm jealous. I want to help too. Still, radiation is something I can handle. That is excellent. By the way, do you have any homunculi specialized for defense rather than explosions? Mari. Yes, we can modify a few of the basic models. Good, make them quickly. We may have to enter floor 81 together with the young master. Got it. I'll try to make as many as possible. And so time passed. Almost 2 weeks went by. Radix, returning from his work in North Korea, came back with 2 tactical nuclear warheads tucked inside his subspace backpack. Each one was fully equipped with a wireless detonator, meaning they could go off at the press of a button. There should be no problem operating them. When people thought of nuclear technology, North Korea was the first thing that came to mind. Even though they were tactical mini-nuclear warheads, their power exceeded that of the Hiroshima-class atomic bomb. 2 were enough. Whether it was a super-colossal monster, an ultra-super-colossal monster, or an ultra-ultra-ultra-multi-colossal monster, it would all melt away in an instant. And another day passed. Their Minister of the People's Armed Forces comrade, whose status in the catalog had changed to summonable, finally appeared. Designated summon, John Cossack. Spot, Comrade Summoner. This Cossack has returned safely. At last, he was back, having successfully broken through to LSSR rank. Oh, LSSR Minister of the People's Armed Forces comrade. I truly thought I was going to die. That mental reinforcement was no joke. Oh my, even your exaggeration is LSSR level. Ha 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 ha. Hehehehe. Assassination, infiltration, beheading, disruption, coercion, plunder, frenzied swordmaster. Name, John Cossack. Grade, LSSR. Legend Special Super Rare. Type, Assassin, Human. Manifestation time limit 6 hours. Satisfaction rating none. Resummon cooldown 3 hours. Designated summon currently available. setting the extra modifiers aside. He was a sword master, no less. Was he planning to carry on his father's legacy? Juhek liked it, though it was a little unfortunate that his manifestation time had been shortened. It was about time to start getting ready. They did not need that many people for this clear anyway. The fixed members would be Mad Demon, Cossack, and Mari. Rajix would carry the nuclear warheads into Floor 81. Veronica would lure the behemoth. Meat Shield would install the warheads. That should be enough. Let's go. We'll blast it to pieces, completely and utterly. They entered Floor 81 once again. Preparations were carried out immediately. They had already coordinated everyone's roles in advance for today. First, they moved forward to receive the mission. Ding. As the clear began, the very first thing Rajix pulled out of his subspace backpack was, ho! A huge, sturdy shovel made of tower metal. It had taken quite a while to make at the player shop workshop. Commissioner Jun Guangil had helped, which sped things up. Who was going to use it? Meat Shield in giant form, obviously. Who else would? TOD, 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 TOD. Meat Shield worked diligently, digging into the ground with the giant shovel. Sergeant Veronica Caliber watched in admiration. With Mr. Meat Shield around, building trench fortifications would be easy. That was true. The shovel was huge, and his strength was tremendous. In no time at all, a large, deep, square pit had been dug. Next, Rajix pulled out a concrete structure from subspace, about 3 meters wide, long and high. That was right, a simple portable air raid shelter, something they had prepared over the past 2 weeks. A cube with thick concrete walls. Both the inside and outside were covered with Gaundale's talismans and gold dust. Steel plates containing lead had been added as well. It had been manufactured outside and brought in through the subspace backpack. If it could hold an entire camper van, something like this was nothing. Ho! The plan was to place the portable air raid shelter inside the pit Meat Shield had dug. When Rajix stretched his hand into the pit, the shelter slid neatly into place. Leaving only the upper portion with the entrance exposed, they completely filled the gaps with dirt and tamped it down so it would not shake. A perfect air raid shelter, completed in less than 10 minutes. This was the part they had paid the most attention to over the past 2 weeks. A nuclear weapon was a double-edged sword. If it detonated on Floor 81, it would endanger not only the behemoth, but themselves as well. But now it was safe for everyone except the behemoth. The real clear began. Lastly, Rajix took out the 2 tactical nuclear warheads fitted with detonators. Good work, Mr. Rajix. Ho! I'll make sure our Mr. Rajix gets his badge. Wah! Without Rajix, a nuclear explosion clear would have been impossible from the start. This plan only existed because he was here. Come here. Let's have one hug before you go. Ho! Their cosmic bald farmhand, Juhyuk hugged him tight, burying his face in the fluffy fur and rubbing his cheeks against it. Then, Rajix, dismiss, summon, spot. Rajix returned after carrying out his role perfectly. Now it was time to install the nuclear warheads. They had to lure the monster as far away from the portable shelter as possible. For that, someone had to draw it out. That role belonged to Sergeant Veronica Caliber. Don't get hurt. Safety first. You know that, right? Sergeant Veronica Caliber, I will carry out the order exactly as instructed. And then she slid closer and pressed herself against him. Why? Please hug me too, like you did the quartermaster. I think it will raise my morale. So suddenly? Sergeant Veronica Caliber, I'll hug you instead. An LSSR hug. Your morale will soar into the sky. Yeah, shut up. Ho, why are you copying Rajix? Commander, please hurry up and hug me. There was no helping it. Juhyek bent his waist back as far as he could and gave her a light hug. Squish. Eek? But he endured it, reciting a prayer in his head while patting her on the back. "Thank you, Commander." It felt like he could hear a message saying, "Veronica's morale has increased by +10. Dedadad, dak." Veronica dashed forward, using tactical movement. Behind her followed Meat Shield in giant form, carrying one nuclear warhead on each shoulder. Each warhead weighed about 200 kilograms. But to Meat Shield, that was nothing. At most, the two together were only 400 kilograms. Veronica and Meat Shield. They ran for quite a while, and then, zing flash, boom! The large round fired by Sergeant Veronica Caliber struck the super-colossal monster Titan behemoth squarely. Krura! Ah! After landing that heavy blow, flash, 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 she kept harassing it with rapid-fire small rounds. Toom, 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 toom. The behemoth chased after Veronica, leaving its original area. Behind it, giant form Meat Shield followed while carrying the nuclear warheads. While the warheads were being installed, Juhyuk summoned the shut-in alchemist Aliamari. Spot. As always, Mary was summoned with her body crouched low and her head bowed. Her role was to stay inside the shelter, take out the defense-type homunculi, and prepare for any unforeseen danger. But then, slide. The summoned Mary quietly set several potion bottles on the ground. These are? Oh, is this because of the radiation? Mary scratched letters onto the ground with her finger. Scritch, scritch. Yes. Does it work? Scritch, scritch. It does. It purifies any kind of energy entering from outside. How did you even know about radioactive material? I've experienced a nuclear explosion before, too. In another world, outside the tower, of course. Right. She had said there were many worlds with civilizations similar to Earth's. You drank it too, right, Mary? Scritch, scritch, I did. To Mad Demon and Cossack, who were standing nearby with blank looks on their faces. Drink one bottle each. It blocks radioactive substances. So you've got tricks like this too. Thanks, alchemist. What does it taste like? Strawberry would be nice. Gulp, gulp. As for the roles of Mad Demon and Cossack, if the behemoth somehow survived, their mission was to finish it off completely, to cut off the last breath it had left. Honestly, was that even possible? How could anything survive a nuclear explosion? Still, you never knew. That was why the two strongest damage dealers among the summoned entities were being kept close at hand. Flash! 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 Veronica continued her relentless luring operation. Juhya kept waiting, watching through binoculars until enough distance had been created. A little later, Pyong! Bang! The signal flare Veronica fired burst in the sky. It was the sign that enough distance had been secured and that the nuclear warheads had been installed near the behemoth. Objective achieved. Then, dismiss summon Veronica. Dismiss summon Meat Shield. Spot! Spot! Sergeant Veronica Caliber and Meat Shield also returned safely. Clunk! Juhek opened the shelter door, entered with Mad Demon, Cossack, and Mari, then shut it. Flee! Now! Any second! He pulled out the wireless detonator. CRRRR. The defense-type homunculi above their heads appeared one after another. Clack! 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 They spread densely throughout the inside of the shelter. At the same time, swoong, 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 one shield barrier for each homunculus. They transformed into tiny soap bubble-like forms. Their role was shock absorption. You could say the entire shelter was packed full of cushioning material. Truly perfect. Protective barriers wrapped around them layer upon layer, 3 deep, 4 deep, tightly packed together. Zing! Juya activated his energy defense barrier as well, and at the same time circulated the energy of Heaven-Earth Unity Art. Detonate immediately. Let's go. The people's nuclear fire flavor. Click. He pressed the detonator. Boom, 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 boom. A nuclear explosion erupted with a horrifying roar. The inside of the shelter shook violently, and yet no real impact could be felt. Kukung, DR, 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 DR. Meanwhile, right next to Juhyuk, Mari was trembling. Shiver, shiver. Is she scared? From behind, Juhyuk gently wrapped his arms around her. Flinch! Mari's body trembled even harder. I've hugged a lot of people today. Rajix, Veronica, and now Mari too. Thump, thump. Her heartbeat rang so loudly he could hear it clearly. It felt as if a nuclear warhead had gone off inside Mari's heart. In any case, inside the shelter, Juhyuk, Mari, Mad Demon, and Cossack were all perfectly fine, even though two tactical nuclear warheads stronger than the Hiroshima atomic bomb had detonated. The administrators had been watching the whole clear process in real time from the very beginning. From the moment Rajix pulled a shovel out of his subspace backpack, they were dumbfounded. A shovel? Whenny that? Are they planning to beat the behemoth to death with a shovel? They're digging. Why are they digging? Then came the concrete structure. Oh, no moan, humpiumph, it then does. What drawn-out battle? And then, at last, the two nuclear warheads revealed themselves. Huh? What? What is that? A nuclear weapon. Why is that coming out of a backpack? Who knows? It was a cheat, the final tech tree of modern Earth's scientific weaponry. A powerful bomb that generated enormous energy through nuclear fission, burning and destroying everything, even altering the shape of the terrain itself. The administrators stared with their mouths hanging open. Then they snapped back to their senses, because they finally realized what those people were trying to do. Digging the ground, placing a concrete structure, one person luring the behemoth, another following behind with bombs in hand, a nuclear weapon. Stupthan, we can't let them clear it like this. Take the nuclear weapons away. That isn't possible. We can't interfere during an active clear. Then change the rules, make it so nuclear fission can't occur inside the tower. That would take a long time. Stop you and do anything, but it was already too late. Boom, 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 boom. We're screwed. Across the vast grasslands of Floor 81, enormous mushroom clouds rose into the sky. Not one, two. Dalm den benod. Naturally, curses started pouring out. Unbenby. Birm, trial? A trial? You call this a trial? Fuck. What was this? They were supposed to break the summoner's mind, and instead it was the administrators whose minds were collapsing. They fell into panic. Something utterly unimaginable had happened on Floor 81. All because of that beast-man laborer. How could a mere laborer do this? We only focused on Mad Demon and Mari. Overlooking the abilities of the other summoned entities was our mistake. Is there any way to restrict the abilities of that beast-man laborer? That's impossible. We could change the tower's rules, but the administrators stood there in a daze. They had never seen such a deranged strategy before. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. The shock waves gradually subsided. So what had happened to Bald Mountain, meaning the super-colossal monster Titan Behemoth? Was it still alive? Mad Demon opened the hatch on the shelter ceiling. Whoosh! Heat from the blast rushed in. This much is bearable. Juhyuk and the others climbed out of the shelter. They surveyed the area again through binoculars. Far away, where the behemoth had been, nothing remained. Only the two mushroom clouds were still visible in the distance. When is the clear message going to pop up? It seemed the system was having difficulty making the judgment, which made sense. There had never been a clear like this before. At that very moment, one then den halm du ways. Whose, mi ha noim the Wayne missions. Oh, Finally, the mission success judgment. Of course, whether you kill it with a nuke or stab it with a sword, once the behemoth is dead, it counts as success, right? Let's see. Midor, vkart hanart, mimes the put wand to the tower. Yes, Midor, spot. He appeared. Minot Menenbamb, he belongs to the tower, has begun Stunda Panupland, vor Minjunj, Midor, Minoit, Banoob, thing is hamdamd, his spot, he appeared. Herdaminj, the same man who had always been dying in chains on floor 77, had now appeared on floor 81 in perfectly healthy condition. Seeing him like this made it obvious. He looked exactly like Cossack. Father, Rian, you recognize me. How could I not? And, this place is... Hartman nodded with a warm smile. I understand everything now, that this place is the tower, that I am a bound soul, that I will soon be freed, and everything you have done. Then Hartman looked at Juhiak and slowly bowed his head. Thank you. A sincere expression of gratitude. He remained bowed like that for quite some time. Then, after a moment, he raised his head and looked at Cossack. Rian, come here, let me hold you. Cossack walked over without a word. Grab. The two embraced each other tightly. Ah, did something get in my eyes? Radioactive fallout or something? The tears just kept coming. The Hartman father and son. They looked alike, and their personalities were similar too. First of all, both of them talked a lot. Still, Juhyuk listened to their conversation from the side without interrupting. It was heartwarming, beautiful, so pleasing to watch. I killed that bastard, the guild master of the cruel assassin guild, nice and clean. I got my revenge. What about Emperor Kallios? I did kill him once, but it wasn't enough. I'm gonna go back and kill him one more time. If possible, don't kill him all at once. Kill him slowly while engraving the pain into him. Yes, sir. The back-and-forth conversation itself wasn't exactly beautiful, but, Father, since your soul has been liberated, how about applying to become a blood-summoned while we're at it? A blood-summoned? You're telling me to work at the same place as my son? Yes, sir. If I get summoned, I'll be under you? Isn't that obvious? If you join later, you're a rookie. Even if we're father and son, rules are rules. Look at that, Cossack, that shameless liar. Every time he opens his mouth, it's nonsense. So that would make the old mad demon his subordinate. Anyway, Lord Hartman as a blood-summoned, that's a bit awkward. How is Cossack supposed to give orders to his own father? Thanks for the offer, but I'll have to decline. Thank goodness. Why is that? I need to go look for your mother. Oh, it seems there's an afterlife, so I'll have to search for her somehow. If you find her, please pass along my regards. Tell her I'm doing well, and that if things work out later, I might come visit. Understood. I'll tell her that. Please let it turn out that way. Oh, right. It'd be better not to mention that you killed me by splitting my upper and lower body in one stroke. Mother might kill father. What? Are you out of your mind, Cossack? How can you say something like that in this situation? Back then, how was my swordsmanship? At the time, I knew it was coming but still couldn't dodge it. But now, I think I can manage. I'm a sword master too. Kyahaha. Oh, then let's have a go at it. Cossack grinned. Are you confident? Be careful. You might get cut in half again, this time between life and death. Like father, like son. They're exactly the same. I'll pay you back for it. Come at me. There's also something I want to show you. What are you gonna show me? The sword technique passed down through our family for generations, the Hartman sword style. Shichesh-esh-2! Hartman drew his sword at lightning speed. Clang! Cossack deflected it with ease. Good! This is worth crossing blades over. Get careless and you'll regret it. Don't underestimate the Hartman sword style. Shichesh-esh-2! The sword style grew sharper. Cossack was forced to retreat step by step. Huh? What? You said it was worth crossing blades. Is that a sword meant to kill your son again? Halt! Hartman's blade wavered. Cossack didn't miss the opening and went on the offensive. I'm joking. Don't mind it. Wow, look at how wicked he is. Shaking him like that? But that was Cossack's way of fighting. Assassination, infiltration, frontal kills, disruption, intimidation, plunder, a frenzied swordmaster. Perhaps because of that, Hartman let out a wry chuckle as he continued facing Cossack. Come at me. Yes, sir. Ching! Clang! 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 Swords crossed back and forth. Hartman's sword style looked fierce, but in truth, it wasn't. It was teaching. The same movements were repeated, and once they seemed familiar, a different sword form followed. I think I understand. A father's heart, trying to pass down his family swordsmanship to his son before leaving. How could Cossack not understand that feeling? He followed the sword forms with all his effort, truly moving. The mad demon stepped up beside Juhyuk and spoke. I agree. It looks like that assassin bastard is making a fuss just to ease his father's guilt. That's right. The horrific tragedy of a father killing his son. It's all in the past now. I'm fine enough to joke about it, so don't carry any guilt. Let's laugh. It's okay to laugh, as if he wanted to convey that resolve. So Juhyuk, the mad demon, and Mari quietly watched the sword-bound conversation between father and son. But cruelly, the moment of parting was approaching. Hartman's body was growing fainter by the second. They must have realized it too. Their blades clashed harder, more fiercely. At last, Hartman stepped back and sheathed his sword. Rian! Father! I'll be going now. Take care. Spot! Hartman vanished without a trace. Father, Cossack let his sword droop and swallowed his tears. Why did you have to leave so suddenly? You should have at least seen Veronica Caliber in a bikini before you went. Dad! Cossack's desperate cry, tears and snot everywhere. Sniff! Sniff! They say Yang Yang on the East Coast is such a hot place, and you didn't even get to visit. And while he was crying so pitifully, as if nothing had happened, he abruptly stopped crying. Phew, being a filial son is hard. Summoner Bong, was it like that for you too? I received everything Pai Tao. 77th floor ultra-high difficulty optional mission has been replaced with the elimination of the serial murder swordmaster Jordik. 81st floor has been changed to normal mode. They're not giving the S+++ clear rewards and the platinum badge? You have achieved clear grade S++ on Black Tower No Putu, Korea, floor 81. Satisfying an utterly perfect clear with utterly clean rewards. World announcements usually go off only for S++ clears or when a major incident occurs in a tower. Today it was this. You have achieved clear grade S++ put on Black Tower No Putu, floor 81. What, the North Korean tower again? No. What's wrong with our top player? Did he defect north or something? Seriously, why isn't he clearing tower number 1? He's stuck on the 76th floor. Comrades, have some generosity. The South Korean tower still has more than 3 years before collapse, doesn't it? Shut it. If he clears tower number 2 again, I'm gonna sulk. You punk, don't pick sides over towers that are all part of the Republic of Korea. But the next day, a rather strange world announcement rang out. From now on, the use of conventional firearms inside the tower will be strictly restricted. Explosive reactions based on Earth science, such as gunpowder, nuclear fission, or nuclear fusion, will not occur. What? I get restricting guns, but nuclear fission and fusion? Did something like that even happen? Anyway, if gunpowder reactions don't occur, guess pistols are useless now. Well, you can just bring a crossbow instead. Damn it, do I have to learn how to use a crossbow now too? Crossbows are easy. You pull it back, aim, and pull the trigger. This is a good chance to pick up a tower reward crossbow. /N_O_V_I_E_L_I_G_H_T/ they've got more stopping power than pistols and longer range too. What about bows? Those are kind of hard. You need a specific trait skill. But what's with banning nuclear fission? Did someone actually set off a nuke inside the tower? Wasn't me, at least. Comrades, did you just say nuclear weapons? Aren't nukes our republic's specialty? Did North Korea set one off? Don't spout nonsense. How would you even carry a nuclear warhead into the tower? Well, could their great leader make a nuke out of pine cones or something? South Korean comrades are really amusing. Who could have imagined it? That a nuclear explosion had happened inside the tower. But there was one person who had a hunch, Commissioner Jun Gwangil. He was the one who had helped create the gigantic shovel and the makeshift fallout shelter. Because of the sudden world announcement mentioning nuclear fission and fusion, the Korean Awakening Administration also received inquiry calls asking if they knew anything about it. He had a guess, but how could he explain it? Better to say he didn't know. Still, just to be sure, he called player Bong Joo-hyuk. Did a nuclear weapon really go off? Yes, exactly 2 shots. Blew the super colossal monster Titan behemoth to pieces. Unbelievable. An actual nuclear clear. Then is that why the tower issued the world announcement? Sigh, yes. It's such a waste I could cry. I went through all the trouble of making a giant shovel and a makeshift fallout shelter. If only I could have used them a few more times. Then where did player Bong get the nukes? That was easy enough to guess. North Korea, obviously. If he asked, they'd have had to give them to him. There'd have been no way to resist. Suddenly, Chairman Kim In-jung seemed pitiful. Oh, right. Did you level up much? Yes, I'm level 23. Oh dear, you're still a newbie. If you'd ridden the bus, it would have been so easy. Honestly, I barely did anything and I'm already level 82. Is that so? What was that? Was he making fun of him? Anyway, I'm on vacation right now. If you've got time, come visit. I'm at a beach on the East Coast. So he was teasing him. He knew perfectly well how busy Joo-hyuk was and still told him to come hang out. After ending the call with Commissioner Chun Gwang-il, Joo-hyuk lay back down on a sunbed and gazed at the deep blue sea. On the sunbed beside him lounged the mad demon, and behind them a camper van was parked. The camper van was for Mari's personal space, and what was she doing? Master, here. Oh, thank you, Geppetto. Mari mixed a highball cocktail in perfect proportions. She would quietly set it down through the narrow opening of the camper van door, and Geppetto would serve it. Mad Demon, yours is here too. Did you add an extra shot? Yes, double shot. What a wonderful vacation it was. Lying on a sunbed on the sandy beach, sipping a cocktail mixed by an alchemist, spacing out while gazing at the sea. In truth, the weather wasn't very good. Perhaps because it was monsoon season, rain poured down steadily. Still, even that had its own charm. No matter how I think about it, this old man seems to have been born with great fortune. Pardon? Summoner, being summoned by you was a blessing. Ah, that's embarrassing. Before, I'd only experienced nuclear explosions outside the tower. Who could have imagined seeing one inside the tower? Those administrators must have been scared witless. Just thinking about it is exhilarating. I understood what he meant. Interstate wars sparked by conflicts engineered by the tower, or monster floods caused by tower collapses. And then nuclear weapons detonated outside the tower. The destruction of the world would only have accelerated further. It would have been tragic, and they would have been helpless. What a shame. If only I could have set off just 3 more inside the tower, I'd have no regrets. Juhyuk felt much the same as the mad demon. It had been an effortless clear after all. So what? They get hit by one nuke and immediately change the rules? Tsk, petty bastards. Agreed, the administrators are even more small-minded than I am. Why would the summoner be small-minded? You're the manliest of men. Oh, you flatter me. Anyway, despite the rain, the blood summoned were having a great time at the beach. Rajix, with his short limbs, swam in the shallow water. Meatshield, Cossack, and Bardin formed a trio and tossed anyone they caught straight into the sea. Cossack had his wish fulfilled. Veronica Caliber in a bikini. Gandale in a bikini. Even Diamat in a bikini. I don't even know where to look. So he put on sunglasses even though it was raining. Well, the men were no less impressive either. Were the blood-summoned ordinary people? Meatshield, Bardin, and Cossack. Broad, squared shoulders, bulging chests, sharply defined abs, solid thighs and hips, bodies that made passers-by turn around at least once. Even Juhyuk, another man, thought they looked great. Then Geppetto, who had been grilling meat, asked Juhyuk, isn't the youngest an incubus? But then why does he get to play while I'm the one who's just grilling meat? Well, it's not that I'm complaining, but just think of it as the punishment for not being able to wear a bikini. Geppetto accepted that surprisingly easily. Even though he was a vampire, he was a blood summoned with an innocent nature. Anyway, maybe it was time to jump into the sea. Mad Demon, would you like to come too? An old man butting in while the youngsters are playing is just asking to get cursed at. Well then, let's go, into the sea. Summoner Bong is coming in to swim. My lord, I shall escort you. Please come, we have been waiting. Veronica Caliber, ready for combat swimming. Wow, blowing up something big really does lighten the heart. I'd been worrying about a lot of things, but it felt like they were all blown away together with the nuke. One way or another, the vacation came to an end. I couldn't just laze around at the beach forever, so then, time to get back to work. Tower number 1, up to the 81st floor as well. Thanks to liberating Mr. Hartman's soul, it looks like an S+++ clear will be possible on Tower number 1's 77th floor. They said the ultra-high difficulty optional mission was changed to eliminating the serial murder swordmaster Jordik, so that should be something Cossack can handle easily. Still, I don't feel like working right away. The after effects of the vacation are still lingering. I'll ease back into daily life first. Juhyuk came to White Tower floor 17. A menu immediately appeared. Gand, Juhan. I'd already tinkered with everything under basics. Next was placement, the core menu for city construction on White Tower floor 17. Placement had 2 sub-menus, copies up to 100 object items. Copy can also be used outside, no cost required. Paste places the copied objects. Costs superior magic stones proportional to height, volume, and value. Earlier, I'd asked Commissioner John Guangil to buy a few nicely designed small buildings or countryside houses in provincial areas where real estate was cheap. Whenever I had free time, I'd gone and copied them bit by bit. Now it was time to paste those copied buildings here. It was exactly like a game. The building appeared in a shrunken simulation view, and when a place on the ground lit up green, meaning it could be pasted, I slowly moved it, fixed the position, paste. Fixed is a now. Tsa, separun paste is an, paste, buffen plumsit brudam. Proceed, THUD. A real countryside house appeared in an empty space. Wow, I went inside to take a look. There was no furniture or household items at all. A brand new house, right after construction. I could decorate it later. The first resident has to be Rajix. That way, he could bring furniture and electronics here using his subspace backpack. Anyway, having just one house sitting there alone felt lonely. Paste, 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 paste. The cost in superior magic stones varied by size: 20 kilograms, 25 kilograms, 30 kilograms, 40 kilograms. Before long, a small residential neighborhood took shape. I even laid down asphalt roads, 1 kilogram per 10 meters, stretching them out smoothly. Ah, right. Each house needed a parking space too. White Tower, floor 17. It truly was a fascinating space. At this point, wasn't it practically a self-sufficient world? Of course, there were restrictions: residents. The cost to grant residency rights was 1 kilogram of supreme magic stones. Because of that, only a very limited number of people could enter this place. Well, it's not like a lot of people would be moving in anyway. If the Earth didn't end, this place would just be a simple vacation home. And one more thing, the elevator. From now on, I'd need to secure 1,000 tons of superior magic stones. When would I ever finish mining that much? Would I even be able to install the elevator? The world where souls live is desolate. Without physical bodies, their 5 senses are cut off. They can communicate with one another, sure, but is it any fun? Still, they endure because of an unfathomable contract with the laws themselves. A mission was bestowed upon the souls. Help the savior who summoned you and save the world. Summoner player. The power of that class needs no explanation. Perhaps an irregular that exists due to an error of the tower, and yet it had never once succeeded. In every world without exception, the tower collapsed, and with it the boundary between the world and the tower vanished. They never even climbed very high. Usually, everything collapsed around the average curse of Kabalin's 70th floor, and this was in worlds where summoners existed. That was how difficult clearing the tower was. But this summoner was clearly different. The number of currently active summoned entities had already exceeded 10, and thanks to that, the climb was proceeding at breakneck speed. And then, eventually, the incident happened. Something truly shocking. Rumors spread, one trailing after another. I heard a nuke went off in Earth's tower. Ah, damn it. Shit, I thought they were holding out. Tsk. Then Earth's finished now, huh? Retaliatory nuclear strikes will start flying soon, and it'll be annihilated before the tower even collapses. Hey, I haven't even gotten out yet. What am I supposed to do if it's already over? Geez, what was that mad demon doing? He should have killed the politicians playing with nukes first. Huh, does this mean I won't get out this time either? Telepathic chatter filled with frustration, regret, despair, and lamentation. But then, no, you idiots, what did you hear me say? Did you even understand? A nuke went off, didn't it? Isn't that the start of nuclear war? For fuck's sake, it went off in the tower, inside the tower, not outside, inside. What? What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? Wait, inside the tower? You mean the place where you get missions on each floor? Yeah, nuclear fission occurred on the 81st floor and blew a gigantic monster to pieces. The souls were bewildered, completely at a loss. That's impossible. Why would a nuke go off inside the tower? Did some nuclear bomb specialty player appear or something? Was it that foul-mouthed bitch Mary from Choxy? Did she really synthesize a nuclear fission homunculus? No, none of that. Then how? They say the Earth Summoner airlifted a nuclear warhead into the tower and detonated it. In that instant, silence fell over the infinite world. Of course it did. This wasn't a joke. Really? For sure. It came straight from the mad demon's mouth. Then is there any chance the mad demon lied? The shaman who was recently promoted to legendary grade confirmed it too. She doesn't lie. Suddenly, the souls erupted into noise. Wow! Magnificent! Oh, that really clears the chest. But there was still a question. But was the behemoth on the 81st floor really strong enough to need a nuke? Yeah, the mad demon alone should have handled it. There was a hidden reason. What kind? The administrator revealed themselves before the summoner and tried to make a deal. Under the law of equivalent exchange, state what reward you want, and if you succeed, you'll get it. But the mission will become harder. They tried to negotiate? That insane administrator bastard. Have they lost their mind? That's a blatant violation of causality. It's an abuse of authority. I'll tear them apart. Put on an administrator badge, and suddenly they can't tell shit from soybean paste. Those fucking trash bastards. My wish will never change, snapping the administrators' necks. Amid all that, one thing stood out. So what did the summoner ask for? Immortality, trait enhancement, world domination. The sole liberation of souls bound to the tower. And what that meant was, the explanation continued. Ah, as expected, it wasn't for himself. Alonso I tick. The title savior fits him perfectly. No wonder he's so strong. Isn't that just adorable? I want to get out quickly and meet the summoner too. Yeah, random summoning should be coming soon. This time it's definitely me. Summoner, please wait. That was when it happened. A strange telepathic voice cut into the soul's conversation. Not a chance, sirs. Wake up from your dreams. None of you are getting summoned. Huh? Someone using this kind of tone in telepathy. Oh, you're an assassin. The protagonist finally shows up. Congratulations, I envy you. But what do you mean? Why won't we be summoned? The catalog's full, sirs. Huh? If the catalog's full, an expansion ticket should come out. That's the thing, it ain't coming out. Why wouldn't it? Right, when the catalog fills up, it's supposed to come out automatically. The probability of a catalog expansion ticket is extremely high. You can increase it to 20, 30, even 40 people. But it ain't dropping. Even stacking 3 or more privilege rewards, it still ain't coming out. Ain't that strange? Not coming out? That couldn't be right. Only then did the souls realize how serious this was. Don't tell me the administrators did this? Indeed, it's definitely probability manipulation. Those bastards using such underhanded tactics? Ha! Not satisfied with trying to deal with the player, now they're even manipulating item drop rates? Those petty beggar-like scum. Souls originally hate administrators. They regard them as sworn enemies. Are we just going to sit still? We should rise up. How? Just go all out until the infinite world is turned upside down, lowering item drop rates, and #novelite daring to strike deals with players. Run your damn operation properly. Like that? Louder. We accuse the administrators of abusing their authority, you bastards. Is causality some dog's name? Equivalent exchange? Go fuck yourselves. You despicable fucks. Do you have no conscience? Fuck, 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 fuck. Administrators, get lost. 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 Administrators, you fucking bastards. You fucking bastards. You fucking bastards. You fucking bastards. You fucking barn. Chirp, chirp, spio, spio. Chirp, chirp, spio, spio. Chirp, chirp, spio, spio. Chirp, chirp, spio. Chirp, chirp, spio. Who's making cicada noises? The wailing of the souls filled the infinite world, endlessly spreading like a plague. The roar of enraged souls, a massive current. It showed no sign of stopping. Naturally so. If there was no catalog expansion ticket, random summoning itself might come to a halt. Was there anything more important to souls than this? underscore 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 don't understand but underscore 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 all thanks to holy water and tower reward items. Moreover, the climb through the 70th floors was extremely smooth. Just as rumored, it was really easy. Once past the hardships of the undead section, a flower-lined road spread out before them. Of course, this was limited to basic missions only. Still, even just basic missions were more than enough. Starting with the 71st floor, then 72nd, 73rd, 74th, all three towers were cruising at high speed. The 80th floor was now right before their eyes. How could he not be in a good mood? For the time being, there was no need to worry about tower collapse. However, there was something that irritated President Liu Xiao, namely, the peninsula bastards from that small country, South Korea and North Korea. Those who didn't know their place had begun discussing reunification with each other. Absolutely unacceptable. It had to be stopped before reunification could occur. Is the outreach finished? Yes, we made contact with North Korean People's Army player Major Jang Chang-soo. The item was delivered safely as well. Is he trustworthy? Trust the money. We promised 30 million yuan. We already brought his family to China and paid 5 million yuan as an advance. 30 million yuan, nearly 6 billion won in Korean currency. And if he changes his mind at the last moment? Major Jang Chang-soo is in stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He doesn't have long to live. For his family's sake, he'll definitely do it. President Liu Xiao nodded in satisfaction. Both South Korea and North Korea needed to be punished. If the two countries unified, China's security would be threatened. South Korea acquiring nuclear weapons. What if nuclear warheads were mounted on Hyunmoo missiles capable of reaching Beijing? And on top of that, control over East Asia? South Korea was already surging ahead as a leading nation in tower conquest, and now whispers were spreading about seating South Korea as a permanent member of the UN Security Council. It was nothing short of horrifying. When is the operation? In a few days, there will be an event in Pyongyang for the establishment of a branch of the Korean Awakening Administration. That day will be D-Day, the world's best tower climbing and conquest organization, South Korea's Korean Awakening Administration. And now they were building a branch in North Korea. South Korean civil servants starting work on North Korean soil, handling affairs for North Korean players? If that wasn't reunification, then what was? It's perfect. Chairman Kim In-jung, Minister of the People's Armed Forces Go Se-guk, Park Kyung-soo, who will soon take office as chief of the Pyongyang branch of the Korean Awakening Administration, and Commissioner Jun Kwang-il will all be attending. High-ranking officials from both the South and the North will be there. China had actually received an invitation as well. They had scoffed at it. This cannot fail. Major Jang Chang-soo is a player, and his level is quite high. Didn't you say he's stage 4 pancreatic cancer? No matter how much he uses a Liberation Rune necklace, that's not the case. The moment he uses the Liberation Rune necklace, the abilities inside the tower apply in full. It will succeed without fail. One more thing. What about the risk of our involvement being exposed? There will be none. The item was airlifted from Pakistan, and it's Russian-made anyway. Only Major Jang Chang-soo knows about it, and once he's dead, it will be buried forever. Good. Even if something did happen, there wouldn't be much reason to suspect China, especially given how unstable North Korea's political situation had been lately. A terrorist incident was more than plausible. Suddenly, President Liu Zhao recalled a world announcement from not long ago that nuclear fission and nuclear fusion reactions would not occur inside the tower. What a ridiculous announcement. You couldn't even bring nuclear weapons into the tower in the first place, so why bother? But outside the tower is different. This was reality. A nuclear backpack was easy enough to carry, and if you detonated it, it would explode. They had given North Korea plenty of chances, but if they still wouldn't listen, then there was no choice but to suppress them by force. Juyuk decided to clear floors 77 through 81 of Korea's #1 Black Tower. Balance had to be maintained. There had already been plenty of talk. Claims that he'd only cleared the North Korean tower, suspicions that he'd defected north, accusations that he'd become a communist. Why the hell would I be a communist? It was the same tower, the same nationality. When he carried them through with tower privileges, they'd talked about Northern Advance reunification and all sorts of nonsense, so he decided to climb consecutively, to secure platinum badges and privileges as well. First was the 77th floor, whose ultra-high difficulty optional mission had been changed. Eliminate the serial murder swordmaster Jordik. This is my chance to use the Hartmann sword form. Declaring a bold frontal duel, he slipped into the prison where Jordik was hiding, sneaking in under stealth. Swish, stab, thunk, finished with a flawless ambush. Clap, 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 clap. Thunderous applause poured in. I am Swordmaster Hartmann. Ruh. Everything was fine, except, didn't you say it would be a frontal duel? This is an assassin's frontal duel. What about the Hartmann sword form? I used it when cutting his neck. Right. Well, fine. No matter how much of a swordmaster someone was, an assassin had an assassin's way. The 78th floor was carried solo by Cossack as well. The ultra-high difficulty mission, eliminate Jericho, guildmaster of the cruel assassin guild. After all, it was his own theme floor. The 79th floor required eliminating Emperor Kallios in the secret detached palace of the Imperial Palace Maze. A time attack mission, but Kendale's tracking talisman made it easy to find him. Cossack dealt with Kallios according to his father's instructions. If possible, don't kill him in one blow. Engrave the pain slowly. The 80th floor, Nightmare, the Nightmare steed, replaced after Diamat's defection. This one was also a nightmare type. True to its name, Nightmare bestowed nightmares, so the moment they entered, dream-based attacks began. But they didn't fall for it. Juhyek no longer saw Oh Jinsuk in his dreams. Mari had created a drug that allowed them to avoid Nightmare's innate skill, dream domain, potion of sleep control, manufactured by the sage. Once you drank it, you didn't fall asleep. Your eyes stayed wide open, and if you didn't sleep, you didn't dream. The side effect was not sleeping for about 3 days, but that barely even counted as a side effect. On top of that, Gendale's exorcism talisman, a talisman that blocked one instance of malicious external energy. With just these two, you wouldn't dream, and if you didn't dream, Nightmare was just a slightly strong horse. Physically, it was easier than a wyvern. Finally, the 81st floor, in Tower Num 2, it had been the super-colossal monster Titan Behemoth, strengthened as the result of equivalent exchange. So what were its specs after the difficulty returned to normal? Defeat one giant monster Behemoth. Ultra and Titan were gone. The time limit was now 15 hours. A breeze. The behemoth that had once been as big as a mountain had shrunk pathetically. To put it in perspective, something that had been an elephant was now a mouse. Still enormous, of course. Boom, 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 boom. The smaller behemoth was moving. This'll be hard. Not for him, but for other players. Even with the fluff gone, it was no easy difficulty. It would be hard to kill. Honestly, the 70th floors had been way too easy. This was what high floor climbing should be like. Juhek sensed it. This place would become a new checkpoint of despair. Except for him, almost every player on Earth would taste frustration before the wall known as the 81st floor. I beg to differ. Huh? Differ? Players' despair will probably start from the 80th floor. Ah, he understood immediately. If you get caught in the dream, it's over. You can't even abandon the attempt. Without preparation, players will just wither and die on the 80th floor. True enough, but we have the potion of sleep control and the exorcism talisman. Correct. With those, it'll be easy. Just like the holy sword in the undead section. Cossack rubbed his fingers together lightly. The holy sword used to be a solid cash cow, didn't it? Its popularity's died down now, so it's time to switch to a new revenue source. Hehehe. A new business venture. Selling the potion of sleep control and the exorcism talisman. How much? Expensive. Ain't that the price of a player's life? Right. Without these, you'd be as good as dead, trapped in a dream, never waking up. I'd recommend not selling them to disobedient types. They could be used for indoctrination or even world domination. Is this old man having another episode? Looks like he still hadn't given up on world domination. Anyway, suppose the 80th floor could be cleared with potions and talismans. What about the behemoth on the 81st floor? There's really no good answer. Even weakened, it was still huge. Zhuhai pulled out his smartphone and recorded footage of the behemoth moving. Boom, boom, boom. Even if he couldn't show a clear video of the fight, this would be enough to warn people. In any case, the conquest began. A giantified fortified barrier blocked the behemoth's advance. Back then, it had been unthinkable, but now, at least grabbing onto one of its legs was feasible. And then Gyandale's talisman arts, the mad demon and Cossack's damage output. The clear was quick. With that, Korea's #1 Black Tower was cleared up to the 81st floor. Fremendels Numtoasel. Come, final tally? Total badges, 128. Physical items, 23, and the privileges, 120 platinum badges. A privilege will be granted. Advancement has been added to your inventory. Still no expansion ticket. Bastards, so petty. Were they sulking because he detonated a nuke inside the tower? Still, he got another rune of defector rank advancement. Why does this keep dropping so well? A balloon effect? Like saying, since one path was blocked, try going this way instead, Mr. Diamat? Yes, I'll give you the rune. Go raise your rank. Again? Let's meet again as Sul. If things kept going like this, being a defector wasn't bad at all. Understood, Master. I'll tell Director Go that I won't be able to attend tomorrow and be back. Tomorrow? Oh, right. The event was tomorrow. The opening ceremony of the Pyongyang branch of the Korean Awakening Administration. Former Commissioner Park Kyung-soo would take office as branch chief, and Commissioner Jun Kwang-il would attend. Director Go, Minister of the People's Armed Forces Go Se-guk, and Cossack as well. Then attend the event first and go afterward. I'll talk to Director Go. Thank you, Master. Naturally, Juhyek planned to attend the event as well. Even if he didn't step forward directly, shouldn't he at least offer his congratulations from behind the scenes? The next day, Juhyek finished preparing to head to Pyongyang, the establishment of a regional branch of the Korean Awakening Administration. It was an extremely major event, especially in terms of symbolism, the first step toward reunification. Many people Juhyek knew were scheduled to attend. Former Commissioner Park Kyung-soo, current Acting Commissioner Chun Kwang-il, Team Leader Lee Mina, and our Minister of the People's Armed Forces, Comrade Ko Se-guk. Originally, he had planned to bring as many summoned companions as possible, but the day before, Kyondale had come to him. With deepest respect, we have matters to attend to in another world. We therefore seek your permission. Matters? Propaganda and agitation. There is a need to sway public opinion. What? What was that supposed to mean? Propaganda and agitation? Was that a metaphor? He did not ask in detail. They would tell him later. So the attendees were kept to a minimum. First, Cossack. After all, he was a high-ranking North Korean official. Also Diamat and the Mad Demon. They would attend as Juyak's bodyguards. That was more than enough. They entered the Black Tower, then used the Ring of Tower exit to arrive at the Pyongyang Black Tower in North Korea. Using the car Cossack had prepared in advance, they headed to the venue. After attending, he planned to grab a bowl of naengmyeon and head back. What were the summoned entities left behind in the other world doing? In fact, they were genuinely working hard at propaganda and agitation. The administrators are petty, despicable cowards. How dare they shamelessly try to deal with young Lord by manipulating probabilities? How can we just stand by and watch this? That's right, the shaman speaks the absolute truth. If there had been no probability manipulation, the catalog would have expanded, and by now at least 2 more souls would be standing shoulder to shoulder with young Lord. What kind of contemptible trick is this? Kill the administrators. Hang them, you fucking bastards. A warrior despises cowardly acts above all else. Face us openly. Do you know how deeply wounded my lord's heart is? Justice for the administrators, O light. Yes, well said, O light. I propose that Veronica Caliber be immediately court-martialed and executed by firing squad. Firing squad, firing squad. Put about 100 holes through their heads. Who, EHK? You administrator bastards. Even your own workers find you pathetic. As a member of the night race and a noble, I will say this. Better to suck mosquito blood than behave like you. You fucking pieces of shit. Anyone who hurts our summoner's heart, I'll kill every last one of you, you bastards. The foul-mouthed elf bitch showed up too. Swear more, more. Woof, woof, jeer, roar, woof, woof. Even a dog curses you, you administrators who are worse than dogs. The infinite world was vast, truly vast. Because of that, telepathic communication normally had limits. Each region had its own communication channel. But now, every communication channel across the infinite world was in uproar. Why go this far? To make their will known, to that lofty place above, for the punishment of administrators and the normalization of probabilities, and, well, compensation for damages would be nice too. The world was changing rapidly, especially the Korean peninsula, in the midst of upheaval. The demand of the era was reunification, and the first step was about to begin in Pyongyang. South and North Korea jointly responding to Black Tower conquest and sharing know-how? That was practically a military alliance, something only extremely close allied nations would do. A joint South-North Black Tower alliance. With this, it would not be an exaggeration to say that the tensions and conflicts surrounding the peninsula had disappeared. In the past, one might have worried about a stab in the back, but now that was no longer a concern. North Korean players were participating actively as well. Their treatment, once exploitative, would change. The Pyongyang branch of the Korean Awakening Administration would purchase ordinary-grade and upper-grade magic stones, as well as various tower byproducts, and pay North Korean players at current market prices. Accepted currencies included North Korean won, yuan, dollars, and South Korean won. Among them, the most popular were dollars and South Korean won. As a result, North Korean player registration rates skyrocketed. After all, clearing towers now meant living well. Perhaps because of that, the venue was filled with North Korean players. Every face was brimming with anticipation. Reporters were engaged in fierce coverage competition. Every newspaper and broadcast network in South Korea had come to cover the event. The Pyongyang branch establishment ceremony would be broadcast live via satellite to countries all over the world. Foreign media too. The United States, Europe, Japan, even China. North Korea was no longer a closed society. The venue was an old player detention facility. The Pyongyang branch of the Korean Awakening Administration would be established there. Once the ceremony ended, operations would begin immediately. Joo-hyek blended in and took a seat, toward the back where the North Korean players were seated. The Mad Demon and Diamat sat on either side of him. The North Korean players looked curiously at Joo-hyek. "Comrade, judging by your clothes, are you a South Korean player?" "Yes, an elite player." "That's right." "Good to meet you. I'm Chung Dong-hwa, up from Kaesong." Joo-hyek responded in kind. "Bong Joo-hyek." "Oh, a fine name. Long live Joo-hyek." Is that so? Then are the female comrade and the old gentleman next to you also elites?" "Yes, they are comrades." "It's good to sit together like this, fellow countrymen. I look forward to working with you." Soon the ceremony began. At the same time, the satellite live broadcast went out. After the guests' greetings, Cossack was called to the stage. "Please welcome with a big round of applause Comrade Go Seguk, Minister of the People's Armed Forces of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea." Clap, 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 clap. Thunderous applause. Click, click, click. Camera shutters fired non-stop. Cossack, wearing a People's Army uniform with medals covering his chest, stepped onto the podium. "Comrades, good to see you. Long live Joo-hyek." After the formal greeting, "Today we have gathered here for a grave and historic mission. The call of the times toward reunification can no longer be ignored." Cossack looked quite serious. "First, I extend my deepest gratitude to the South Korean government for its bold decision to establish the Pyongyang branch of the Korean Awakening Administration for a joint South-North response to the Black Tower." Pak Kyung-soo and Chung Kwang-il stepped forward and bowed. Clap, 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 clap. Applause followed. "Our North and South shall advance forward without pause toward the construction of a fully unified homeland on the Korean peninsula. Long live Joo-hyek." He really was a gifted speaker, born for it. Though this was a global live broadcast, and he kept shouting, "Long live Joo-hyek." Joo-hyek made a mental note to tell him to stop later. Lastly, we will hear a greeting from the great comrade Chairman Kim In-jung. Kim In-jung, now slim after losing much weight, stepped onto the podium. "I am deeply moved. I would like to say a few words about the future of our republic. From now on, our North and South shall erase conflict and hostility." Right then, Fiosh, boom, Fiosh, boom. A sound from far away? What was that? It was coming from the sky. People's gazes snapped upward. "Huh? Fire? What is that? A person is flying? No way." A man in a North Korean People's Army uniform was leaping from building to building, moving as if he were flying. Foosh, boom. In an instant, he landed right in front of the stage. It happened in a blink. No one had time to react. Even armed guards carrying guns missed the timing. "Everyone freeze. Move a finger and I'll blow it all up." A booming voice. The unidentified soldier carried a large cylindrical backpack. The backpack bore the nuclear material symbol, and in his hand was a small device, which meant, "You know what's on my back, right? A nuclear backpack. Best stay still." A nuclear backpack. Small, but enough to kill everyone gathered here if it detonated. Everyone on the stage froze. After a moment, Chairman Kim In-jung spoke in a trembling voice. "Comrade, who are you?" I am Major Jiang Changsu, player of the Republic People's Liberation Army. Long live the chairman. I see. But then, comrade, what are you doing right now? Jiang Changsu's eyes were bloodshot. I have come to stop the treasonous act of handing our republic over to the vicious South Korean government. Treason? How dare you speak such words before me? On behalf of comrades who share my will, I appeal with utmost loyalty. Chairman, you are being deceived. He then pointed at Cossack. Minister of the People's Armed Forces, Gosek, is a treacherous reactionary, a scheming flatterer who has blinded the chairman's eyes and ears. Cossack snorted. So there were still fools like this around. Looks like the purge had not gone far enough. Leaving players alone as much as possible had been a mistake. Cossack rose from his seat and slowly moved toward Jiang Changsu. Comrade, you're wearing a Liberation Rune necklace, aren't you? That's right, so don't try anything foolish. Where'd you get it, and that nuclear backpack? That's none of your business. I think I know. Where else would it be from? China. Stop your nonsense and apologize to the people of the Republic. And if I do, you won't detonate the nuke. Why aren't you answering? You came here planning to detonate it anyway, didn't you? For the Republic, I will gladly sacrifice this body. Apologize first. As he spoke, Cossack was measuring the distance. Jiang Changsu held a wireless detonator. If he leaped now, he could sever the wrist in an instant. Jiang Changsu seemed to notice Cossack's intent. Don't act rashly. If something happens to me here and my heart stops, the bomb detonates immediately. If the detonator drops from my hand, it detonates. If the detonator is destroyed, it detonates. There's only one way. Was it true? It did not seem like a lie, which meant no risks could be taken. If it were just him, Cossack would have chopped off the wrist and neck without hesitation, bomb or no bomb. But what about Summoner Bong? If something went wrong, he could be endangered. So Cossack could not even release his killing intent. If that explodes, you won't survive either. You know that. It doesn't matter. I came prepared. Fine. Calm down, comrade. What do you want? I'll give you everything. Hehehe, don't waste your breath. I've already made up my mind. Today's sacrifice will be recorded forever in the history of the Republic. This was driving him insane. More importantly, what was Summoner Bong doing right now? He needed to get into the tower and escape fast. The venue was thrown into chaos. Everyone now understood exactly what the object strapped to Major Jiang Changsu's back was. People screamed and scattered in panic. Spot, spot, spot. Players fled into the tower, but Ju Hyek did not run, not because he was particularly brave. If he entered the tower, the summoned entities would naturally follow him. Then he could just exit through the ring of tower exit to tower number 1. But what about everyone else? Commissioner Jun Guangel and team leader Li Mina were players, so they could escape into the tower. But what about the civilians? How could he be such a coward as to run off alone? His legs were shaking uncontrollably, but he forced himself to gather his courage. Mr. Diamat? Yes, master. Can you control that man using dreams? I can put him to sleep, but I cannot control what kind of dream he will have. Then, what if he dreams of pressing the detonator? Then it would be pressed in reality too, or the detonator might slip from his hand. Either way, it would explode. And you, mad demon, I could sever his wrist or destroy the detonator. However, the risk is extremely high. It seems the assassin is thinking the same. It would be best to retreat into the tower before it is too late. Indeed, Cossack was sending Ju Hyuk desperate signals with his eyes. Please enter the tower, quickly. What are you doing? This is maddening. What should he do? Was there really no way? He would be lying if he said he was not afraid, especially since he had first-hand experience of what a nuclear weapon could do. Ju Hyuk looked around. Everyone was fleeing with their tails tucked between their legs. Even players capable of entering the tower had already vanished. But some people remained. Former Commissioner Park Kyung-soo, Chun Gwang-il, and Lee Mina, along with high-ranking officials from both North and South, lower-level civil servants and reporters. The foreign and domestic journalists, in particular, kept hammering their camera shutters even in this dire situation. Click, 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 the live broadcast was still going. Are they insane? Ju-hyuk's eyes met those of Commissioner Chun Gwang-il. He was silently mouthing words at him over and over. Run, hurry, into the tower. Even the mad demon, who normally never showed emotion, was pleading earnestly at Ju-hyuk's side. Summoner, please, let us enter the tower. I beg you. Master, please heed the mad demon's request. Otherwise, we will be forced to invoke Clause 3 of Principle 3 of the summoned entities and carry you away by force. Wait, there was one method worth trying. If it failed, he could still enter the tower then. It would not be too late. Even if the wireless detonator is pressed, there should be about 1 second of leeway. That may be, but he knew from experience. Did it really explode the instant it was pressed? And so, Ju-hyuk summoned someone. The ultimate specialist. Major Chang Chang-soo wore a faint, rancid smile. Go Saguk, the minister of the People's Armed Forces, a man who had suddenly appeared and become the core of the Republic's power, almost certainly a player. That meant a player whose abilities inside the tower manifested in reality thanks to the Liberation Rune necklace. He must have crossed over from the south. That was why he was pushing all this reunification nonsense. Reunification? Reunification after I'm dead? Don't make me laugh. His body was already ravaged by an incurable disease, stage 4 pancreatic cancer, something even American and South Korean hospitals could not cure, a life destined to end anyway. That was why he accepted the Chinese broker's offer. He demanded that his family be evacuated to China and enough money for them to live comfortably for the rest of their lives. The offer was accepted immediately. And so 2 items were delivered to him. One was the nuclear backpack. The other was the Liberation Rune necklace that allowed him to get this far. The necklace had only one remaining use, but one was enough. He infiltrated the venue safely and grasped the wireless detonator. The game was over. No one could stop him. Not even Go Saguk, even if he was a liberated player. It would detonate no matter what. Go Sagyuk's gaze remained icy cold. Kim In-jung trembled in fear. You miserable bastards. If only they had unified sooner, before he got pancreatic cancer. The reason Jiang Changsu had not detonated the nuclear backpack immediately was one of China's conditions. They wanted his suicide nuclear bombing to be perceived not as external intervention, but as the act of an internal North Korean military faction dissatisfied with reunification talks. In exchange, they promised an additional 20 million yuan for his family. So he dragged out the conversation a little. He had thoroughly imprinted his intent, and it would all have gone out on the broadcast. His objective was achieved. Who? Jiang Changsu took a long, deep breath. Now, all he had to do was let go of the detonator. And at that moment, roll, roll, roll. Huh? Roll, roll, roll. A white ball of fur came rolling toward him. When had it appeared? It rolled neatly along, a tiny backpack strapped to its back. Roll, roll. What is that? This cute little creature. It looked like a hamster. Ho-way. Jiang Changsu stared blankly at the rolling object. Not a person, but a fluffy, round, harmless-looking ball of fur. Ho-way. It even came right up to him and waved its short little arms in greeting. He almost waved back without thinking. He felt no sense of threat whatsoever. And then, hooey, the fur ball stretched out its tiny arms toward his back. Why? In that instant, shloop, slack, His shoulders suddenly felt light. Gah! What? Gang Changsu frantically reached behind his back. Nothing. He could not feel anything. The nuclear backpack was completely gone. Whee! His mind snapped back to attention. Click, click. He mashed the wireless detonator repeatedly. This, as if it would explode. The nuclear backpack was already inside Rajik's subspace. Hugh! Rajix placed both hands on his waist, then puffed out his chest, shrugged his shoulders, and extended one arm forward, forming a V sign with two short fingers, a uniquely proud expression. Steam practically puffed from his nose. Hung! Click, click, click! Click, 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 click! The reporters did not miss the moment, firing flashes non-stop even in broad daylight. Hehehe. Cossack let out a dry laugh. He had no choice but to slash N_O_V_E_I_G_H_T/acknowledge it. Beyond a cosmic errand boy, the universe's greatest problem solver. Ah, this isn't the time. Spot. Cossack dashed forward in an instant and seized young Changsu by the neck with one hand. Comrade, are you prepared? Cossack's eyes overflowed with killing intent. At some point, the mad demon had also rushed over. Leave this one to me, I ask you. Let's do it together. This time I won't yield. Very well. But the attention of the people gathered at the venue was still firmly fixed on Rajix. Awake! Click, click, click! No one cared about Jiang Changsu anymore, and the entire sequence of events was broadcast live to the whole world via satellite. At the United States Department of Homeland Security, Secretary Macmillan and Director Antonio did not attend the event being held in Pyongyang. They had received invitations, but politely declined. There was no need to unnecessarily provoke neighboring countries, namely China and Russia, so they were watching the ceremony live on TV. On the screen was the Minister of the People's Armed Forces, Go Seguk. There he is, yes, currently the most enigmatic figure in North Korea. Where on earth did he come from? No relatives in the north, no connections, no academic background, nothing is known. I believe he's affiliated with Player Bong. Affiliated? On what grounds? Right on cue, Go Seguk's speech began, and as always, it ended with his habitual phrase, Long live Ju-hyuk. Look at that. Long live Ju-hyuk. Isn't that a bit too coincidental? What is? Player Bong's name is Ju-hyuk. Ha, that's just Juche Revolution, the full form of Ju-hyuk in Korean. Is it really? Then are you saying Bong Ju-hyuk's Ju-hyuk refers to that? That's my assessment. Secretary Macmillan shrugged. Antonio's speculation felt like too much of a stretch. The idea that the defense minister of North Korea, an enemy state until just months ago, was a subordinate of Player Bong? Your imagination's running wild lately. Don't say things like that elsewhere. You might get labeled a lunatic. Right then, FW whoosh, boom. Huh? Fire! A North Korean soldier suddenly appeared at the venue. The camera zoomed in. That is a nuclear backpack? Is that really one? It appears so. This is bad. Terrorism. A nuclear terror attack was unfolding. At a venue where North Korea's supreme leader, South Korea's Korean Awakening Administration Commissioner, and numerous high-ranking officials were gathered. Is Player Bong at the venue too? There, the camera briefly swept past the crowd. A young man seated toward the back. Bong Ju-hyuk. Secretary Macmillan shot to his feet, clutching his head with both hands and shouting, Jesus, what are you doing, Mr. Bong? Get into the tower, now. What if he's already used up all his entry chances? Fucking hell. My God, Player Bong must not die. He was Earth's final bulwark, its savior. Just his existence alone drastically reduced the burden of tower conquest. That was why the United States had tried to strengthen relations with him. They had even gifted him a trait enhancement rune. But if he were to die, the countdown to tower collapse would begin. Macmillan and Antonio could only stare blankly at the screen. From the opposite side of the earth, there was nothing they could do. Please, somehow, let Player Bong survive. Either retreat into the tower or escape beyond the blast radius. But then, something unexpected happened. A white ball of fur appeared on the screen. What is that? A giant hamster? That doesn't look human, or is it? Anyway, a hamster man appeared, and it was absurdly cute. Ho! As it reached out behind the terrorist's back, shloop, the nuclear backpack vanished. The terror threat disappeared in an instant. An inventory? Unlikely. Items other than tower artifacts can't go into an inventory. Then what on earth? On screen, only the furball hamster man remained. The terrorist's face was not even shown. The reporters must have instinctively known who to film, where to focus. Secretary Macmillan and Director Antonio stared unblinkingly at the TV screen. No matter how long they watched, it never got old. In Beijing, China, Chairman Liu Jiao and the Standing Committee members were also gathered together, watching the Pyongyang event on TV. Everyone was confident of success. Jiang Changsu had landed in the center of the venue with the nuclear backpack on his back. There was no room for doubt. They had ensured it would explode under any circumstance. Press the detonator, it explodes. Drop the detonator, it explodes. Even if Jiang Changsu were shot by a sniper and his heart stopped, it would explode. That was it. Once Kim Il-jung was gone, all that remained was how quickly they could seize power during the vacuum. Plans were already in place. Kim Il-jung's half-brother, currently residing in Singapore, would be installed to rule North Korea. But then, what was this? A mysterious ball of fur appeared and swallowed the nuclear backpack. The backpack itself vanished, gone without a trace. Huh? How? Why did the nuclear backpack? Had they seen it wrong? But every moment was being broadcast live. Failed? Because of some ridiculous animal? Silence fell. No one knew how to process this absurd situation. The live broadcast drew massive viewership in South Korea. Ratings exceeded 20%. Then the nuclear backpack terrorist appeared. Ratings surged past 40%, and when Rajix appeared, they broke 60%, and they kept climbing. A merciless cuteness that looked like it had stepped straight out of an animation, a fatally round figure that assaulted the heart. And on top of that, a mysterious ability that made a nuclear backpack vanish. It was only natural that people went wild. Breaking news flooded in. Breaking news: nuclear terror threat at Pyongyang Korean Awakening Administration branch event. Breaking news: suspect believed to be North Korean military hardliner. Breaking news: infiltrated venue using a liberation rune necklace. Breaking news: a miracle at the brink of catastrophe. Breaking news: nuclear backpack vanished in an instant by a hamster man. Where did it come from? The tower? An alien? Human or hamster? Does it matter? Deadly charm. Cute is enough. Video attached. Countless comments poured in. What's the name of that vicious creature? I'm dying because of it. Tell me now. Her. I want to touch it. I want to bury my face in that white fluff and rub it. Not the nuke. My heart is exploding. I'm on my 100th replay. I can't take my eyes off it. Is this CGI? It's live, idiot. If I defect north now, can I see it? I need healing. Recruiting party members to go to Pyongyang now, 1/5. I was there. I seriously thought I was going to die. Anyone know what that hamster is? South Korean comrades are fools. Can't you tell at a glance? Who is it? It's the guardian spirit of Mount Kumgang, protecting the Republic. Guardian spirit my ass. What's next, fairy maidens too? Catchphrases were born. Ho, Hoi, Hong, Hook. Stop it, you lunatics. Hong? This was not the first time a summoned entity's face had been revealed on video. There had been Cossack and Meat Shield at Korea's HG Hotel, and the Mad Demon brutally educating anti-Korean protesters in downtown Japan. But Rajix's impact was on a completely different level. Korea, no, the entire world, was utterly captivated. Pyongyang. The situation was quickly brought under control. Commissioner Jun Guangil and team leader Lee Mina shielded Rajix from the reporters and escorted him away, while the Mad Demon and Cossack took charge of the terrorist Jang Chang-su. Juhek and Diamat also left the venue, moved to a secluded spot, and finally entered the tower. That night, Juyak summoned all the summoned entities except Bloodwolf. It seemed everything that had happened in Pyongyang had already been shared. They were furious, relieved, and racked with guilt. Young Lord, please punish us. This lowly one was foolish. Failing to grasp the gravity of the situation and protect you, this sin deserves punishment. No, what did you do wrong? It ended well, didn't it? Meat Shield slammed down onto one knee. A warrior remains foolish. Even at Rasal, I am still dull. Someone like me should die. That was not all. My lord, please do not forgive this god. Veronica Caliber, I will voluntarily confine myself. One like me does not even deserve to drink blood. Even Mari, the shut-in alchemist, peeked out through the crack in her door, sniffling and wiping away tears. Only then did Juhyuk learn they had been stirring up other souls in the other world, inciting protests for probability normalization and administrator punishment. That was why they had not attended the event, though even if they had, there would not have been much they could do. After a long bout of tearful self-reproach, Hyundale asked Cossack in a chilling voice, "What happened to that man?" "We got everything out of him and handed Novelitum over to Kim Min-jung. He is probably in a Pyongyang state security prison now." "Ha! You let him live," the Mad Demon answered instead. "Do not worry, Princess Fairy. He has already received his death sentence. Every day will be agony. Killing him outright would be mercy, so we let him live." One more thing. Did he act alone? The mastermind. Where else? A country that hates Korean reunification. Japan already bowed its head, so China. Exactly. I understand. And that was the end of it. The summoned entities spoke no further. Something felt strange. This could not be right. Had they completely become people of the Republic of Korea? Or, wait, could it be? I see. It already activated Clause 3 of Principle 3 of the summoned entities. When it comes to protecting the summoner's life, summoned entities are permitted autonomous judgment and action. Once that kicks in, there is no stopping them. In the past, they would have been raging. We must eliminate the threat. We have to cut off Chinese politicians' heads, and so on. Oh dear. Something was definitely going to happen in China soon, as clear as day. But honestly, he had no intention of stopping them. They were the ones who had planned a terrorist attack with a nuclear backpack. If you decide to kill others, you should at least be prepared to die yourself. All right, let's change the mood. We'll begin the badge award ceremony. They had earned merit. He had to hand them out one by one. But he was short on badges. This called for selection and focus, so the LSSR summoned entities would temporarily be excluded from badge awards. First, one badge each for the new members, Geppetto and Diamat. "Master, I'll devote everything I have to serving you." then one for Veronica Caliber, Victory, and one for Bardin. O light that made Bardin's total 5. As a result, he upgraded one of his skills. Judging by how dazzling the radiance had become, it was easy to guess which one he had enhanced. Lastly, Rajix. Honestly, Juhyuk had no idea how many he should give him. Either way, he wanted to give him as many as possible. So he decided to split it up into separate commendations. Rajix's current total badge count was 12. First, you are hereby awarded 3 platinum badges for your outstanding contribution in transporting the nuclear warhead and emergency shelter during the defeat of the giant monster Titan Behemoth on the 81st floor. Ho! Giving him 3 brought the total to 15. FWAAAH. The badges dissolved into light. Another skill upgrade. Which skill did he upgrade this time? He decided to ask later. There was still more. Additionally, for your great merit in saving numerous lives by seizing the terrorists' nuclear backpack during the Pyongyang Korean Awakening Administration branch opening ceremony, you are hereby awarded 3 more platinum badges. Ho? Rajix looked slightly surprised. Should he accept them? Of course he should. Hoo-yay! He puffed out his chest. That meant, I'll take them. Given what he had accomplished, it would have been strange not to give them. Another 3 badges, 6 in total. The remaining badges dropped from 23 to 13. The other summoned entities looked on enviously. Clap, 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 clap. But the congratulations were sincere. Why? Rajix deserved all 6. He could be arrogant for all they cared. He had earned it. In any case, Rajix's cumulative badge count was now 18. Just 7 more to reach 25. 5 skills at Rissal. The requirements for the Rissal rank would be met. At that point, one question naturally arose. What skill had Rajix upgraded? Ho, cleaning. Pardon? Cleaning? Why? In the next instant, swish! Rajix pulled out a golden broom, a golden dustpan, and a golden sack from his subspace backpack. Well, whatever. Cleaning, cooking, Rajix could do whatever he wanted. That aside, such a huge incident had occurred. How was the establishment of the Korean Awakening Administration branch going? He could call Commissioner Jun Gwangil to ask, but he was probably too busy right now. Turn on the TV. Let's watch the news. Yes. Cossack clicked the remote. The screen lit up, and the news began to play. But, ho? Rajix tilted his head. No wonder. His own face was on the TV. The scene of him flashing a V sign with his fingers, a gesture he had made hoping for praise from Summoner Bong. Our cosmic errand boy's a star now. It certainly looked that way. They kept showing Rajix's face, only the cute parts, carefully edited, repeating scenes already shown. Change the channel. Click, Rajix. Click, Rajix again. Click, Rajix again and again. Every channel, Rajix domination. He's not just a star. He's a cosmic superstar. Wow, what should he do? He had wanted cute Rajix all to himself. But now everything was out in the open. The scheming began that very night. After the badge ceremony and the party ended, Juhyuk, exhausted, went to his room and fell asleep early. Meanwhile, the mad demon, Cossack, and Gendale gathered inside a dark bathroom with the lights off. Calling it a bathroom did not do it justice. It was a penthouse bathroom. And with Rajix cleaning it every day, it was clean enough to sleep on the floor. We don't need many. Just me and Diamat will do. I'll participate as backup. I can provide cover from afar. Chairman Liu Zhao is a well-known figure. Activating the tracking talisman on him will pose no difficulty. Clause 3 of Principle 3 had already activated. The summoned entities were united in purpose. How dare those fools target the summoner? It was something that had happened countless times in other worlds, players killed by other humans rather than the tower, leading to the world's destruction. They bore some blame themselves. They had grown complacent. Now they were reflecting deeply. This had to be prevented before it happened again. So what was needed? A sharp warning. But there was a problem. Would Summoner Bong allow it? He has a gentle heart. We must not let him know. I know. We must not burden him with more worries because of us. Even so, this must be done. For young Lord's safety, we can accept punishment later. That's right. Agreed. They had to go secretly, by any means necessary. The biggest obstacle is getting to Beijing. The physical distance is enormous. It might take half a day just to get there. Indeed, we'd have to pass through North Korea and the Manchurian plains. We can take a plane. What about passports? I have Commissioner Jun Guangil's business card. I'll contact him quietly, without the summoner knowing. Right then, click, the bathroom lights came on. Oh my, the door creaked open. I knew this would happen, caught red-handed. It was Juhek. He had known they would be plotting something, so he pretended to sleep and raided the scene. Cossack, the mad demon, and Gyandale froze, flustered. They began making excuses. No, I was just going to take a shower. I needed to pee. This girl came to fix her makeup. Seriously? So all in one bathroom, at the same time, one's showering, one's peeing, and one's fixing makeup? Efficient, isn't it? Indeed, 3 birds with 1 stone. Men and women are different, but aren't we basically family? Juhyuk snorted, then said, "You want me to take you to the Beijing Black Tower tomorrow, right?" The 3 of them stared at him, mouths agape. To be honest, I'm angry too. Detonating a nuke just to stop reunification? That's crossing the line by a lot. He was right. If the plan had succeeded, how many people would have died? The summoned entities lit up, smiling broadly. A wise decision, Summoner. I, Cossack, will finish it cleanly. No unnecessary killing. My word. A sagacious judgment for the greater good, young lord. If they let it slide, something like this would happen again someday. To save more people, this was unavoidable.